You're listening to an archived Cabral Concept podcast. After listening to this show, check out the most up-to-date podcasts available at stephencabral.com/podcasts or search directly on iTunes. And now, welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Thanks so much for joining me here today on part 2 of our Cabral House Calls. We are going through all of the questions that have come in over the past couple months. Of course, not all of them today, but we'll be getting to about 10 or so. Looking forward to that. Yesterday, we went over so many of our community's questions. We talked about what to do about anxiety. We talked about stomach discomfort. We talked about acid reflux. We talked about doing a vegan-based diet on the Dr. Cabral Detox or a functional medicine detox. We talked about IBS symptoms since childhood. We talked about the carnivore diet. We talked about brain fog, splitting nails, thinning hairs, slower gait, cold hands. We talked about getting on the mend after years of binge eating. And we talked about growth, basically, when the body stops growing, when it's hit full maturity. So a lot of great questions came in. I was very excited to see those, happy to be able to answer them. And today we have plenty more on all things wellness, weight loss, and anti-aging. Now, today I will let you know all the show notes, all these questions that I'll be reading today are at episode 989. So you can just go to stephencabral.com/989. And for yesterday's show, you can go to stephencabral.com/988. Of course, each and every day's podcast, because we are a daily podcast, are available at stephencabral.com/podcasts. There's also a search bar there, which allows you to search for any keyword or topic that you're interested in. And with 989 shows, we pretty much covered all those topics out there. Now, we cover them from different angles on a daily basis. And of course, there's always more to talk about when it comes to functional medicine, Ayurvedic medicine. You know, every single week we have a new Ayurvedic medicine show starting with episode 900. So much to cover, so much to go through. It's really, obviously, it's a lot of fun for me to teach. That's what I love to do. I consider myself a teacher. I mean, obviously, I'm a practitioner, I'm a naturopathic doctor, all of those things. But the truth is that I just love to teach. And this is hopefully something that is worthwhile, that you're getting some information out and that you can pass on to other people. So, having said that, let's start today's podcast. Let's get right into the first question. Remember, if it's a long question, I'm just going to kind of send you over to stephencabral.com/989, and you'll be able to read the question in full. The reason I don't read the question in full is simply because of time. I've read the question, but I want to make sure that we get in as many questions as possible. Okay, so Laura's question is coming up first. She writes in, "Hello, Dr. Ball. I'm hoping you can help me. I get this lip rash every now and then since 2016. I was told it was contact dermatitis and given prednisone. Then I've had to be very careful what I put on my face. I still get flare-ups. 2 weeks ago, the rash flared up again. I was given topical steroids. I've had an allergy patch testing done. No results. I'm vegan, gluten-free. Don't eat refined sugar, mostly plant-based. My lips are itchy, almost unbearable several times during the day. I think it starts overnight or in the morning. I don't know it's going to be bad when I wake up with swollen lips. Haven't changed anything in months, so I'm pretty sure it's not a contact allergy. There's even itchy and dry constantly, hard to eat anything that touches it, and even stretching. It's not my pillowcase or laundry detergent. What could be causing my lips to swell overnight?" Really great question. Thanks, Laura, for writing in. So we are looking at some type of allergy, though, or sensitivity. So right now, I'm thinking it's some type of mast cell cytokine-based inflammatory reaction. What I do in my practice, I'll tell you right now, people always ask, and because I always apply, because everyone's skeptical, which I totally understand. Remember, I saw 50 different doctors and spent a decade of my life trying to get well. So I understand the skepticism. There's no doubt about that. But we can always figure it out. If you were in my practice with me, this is what I would ask you. I would just go through a barrage of questions, and I'd be able to tease it out within the first 60 minutes, our first consultation. Same with my health coaches. They know how to do this. So we just ask you, well, let's say you're on vacation. Do your lips still get the same swelling? And if you say no, I say, okay, interesting. What about if you're over a friend's house or you're at a hotel room? Do you ever get any swelling? And if you say no, it's only in my home, then I would say, okay, what is it in your home when you get home at night that you're being exposed to? There might be mold toxicity, right? Like literally you might have mold in your shower, mold in your bedroom behind the walls that you don't even see. And now you're reacting to that. So when you do a food sensitivity test, it doesn't come up because you're not testing for mold. So that's a really important one. We'll be talking a lot more about mold in general. There's plenty of, you can do mold testing with the functional medicine practitioner. If you look tomorrow on, I think it's coming this Monday. Honestly, I don't even know, because I don't handle the rollout of all these different things. We've been doing mold testing for quite some time in my practice, but I believe it's actually coming out tomorrow if you wanted to check that. So check back out. Just go to equilibriumnutrition.com actually tomorrow on the 22nd. And I believe our mold test is going to be coming out then for the public. Again, we don't release everything right away for what we do in our private practice to the public because when we do it, we want to be able to provide the highest level of customer service. So check that out. And then, so if you said, no, it happens everywhere, then I'd say, okay, well, we're going to put you on a rotation diet. And you can check out my podcast on how to create a rotation diet. That's a separate podcast. And we'd be able to kind of tease it out of what's going on exactly. I would run an organic acids test to see if there's candida overgrowth, because this could be a candida-based issue. It could be a lack of B vitamins, which can cause lip splitting. Again, hard for me to say. I can't pin it down over a podcast. But what I would do is I would test every variable. Again, that's how we help people get well. We test every variable. Happen in your home. No, someone else's home. You say, I don't know, I haven't traveled forever. Well, is it possible for you to even get a hotel room at a not expensive hotel for a night and don't bring any cosmetics, nothing like that, and do your lips swell up the next morning? If the answer is no, there's something going on in your house. Okay, so we need to check that out. All right, let's go up to Ashley. Ashley's up next, yes. I've taken the organic acids test twice, and I've been working with a naturopath for the last year trying to get rid of my bacterial imbalances. I have overgrowths on my specific numbers under the candida and yeast overgrowth. I feel like they're almost gone. I would like to do your 21-day detox. What do I need to do in order to get those results? Can I do them all at once? How long will it take to seal up my gut wall? Do I need to stay on a diet without any coffee, dairy, alcohol, beans, seeds for 6 months? Already plant-based? Okay, so here's the thing, Ashley. We offer the Candida and Bacterial Overgrowth Protocol. It's 12 weeks, and then you seal up the gut wall, but that's super easy, meaning like all your symptoms are gone by then. We're just trying to seal up the gut wall, the CBO finisher, and that's for basically 3 bottles. Super easy. So if it's taken you already a year to get rid of these numbers, it's just we get rid of them in 12 weeks. And I know that because we retest. So I don't know. I mean, I just, people ask me all the time, well, why this program, why this? All I can tell you is that we created this over 7 years. It works. It's called the Candida and Bacterial Overgrowth Protocol. It's essentially almost at cost. We really give away this protocol because this is what most people need to cure a lifetime of antibiotic use, etc. So it works exceptionally well. You can do the 21-day Dr. Ball detox at any point you would like while on the Candida protocol or not. How to seal up your gut wall? Well, after you've gotten rid of that yeast, or if you're already ready for it, you can simply do what's called the CBO finisher. You can just go to equilibriumnutrition.com and just go under the supplements. Or, in the search bar on Equilibrium Nutrition, just type in CBO. And the CBO finisher will pop right up. And that's everything that you need to seal up that gut wall in literally just 2 supplements. That's it. We make it easy. We really do. We try to make it as easy as possible and also as cost effective. Remember, I've been there myself. I've spent over $100,000 trying to get this body well on 10 years, of close to $1,000 a month in lab tests and doctor's visits and supplements and food and all that jazz, specific to trying to get me well. So I understand it. I get it. We try to make it very, very cost effective. Okay. Elizabeth's up next. Elizabeth is asking, I'm wondering if you've ever worked with people that do not have a thyroid. Mine was removed because of uncontrollable hyperthyroidism, and after removal, it was found I had thyroid cancer. If you have addressed this as a podcast, please direct me to the one I should listen to. So, Elizabeth, we work with people all the time in our private practice who have had a thyroidectomy because of cancer or other reasons, and we're happy to work with you. However, that's more on a private client level. So what I recommend is finding a functional medicine practitioner that really knows endocrinology, really knows the hormones well, that can help you in your area. Or, of course, you can always apply to our private practice, and we're happy to help you as well. So totally up to you. But yes, I mean, if you name the health issue over 18 years, we've probably worked with someone just like you. And again, we don't treat disease, and we don't cure, and we don't diagnose. So the truth is, it does not matter to us what the name of your disease is. We'll listen to what the symptoms are. Then we'll look at what are all the underlying imbalances that will ultimately get you well, or ultimately causing you to be sick in the first place. So that's exactly what we do. Do you deal with anyone with MTHFR positive gene copies of 129C and C677T who have Lyme disease and autistic? Any protocols to assist with detox? I believe that's supposed to say methylation and focus and concentration. My son's diet is preservative-free, corn-free, gluten-free, and no high-fructose corn syrup, no dyes, and low sugar. I use hemp oil and CBD as well as colloidal silver, some infrared sauna. Okay, Pamela, again, we work with everyone, so nobody needs to ask. We're happy to work with anyone and everyone. And we do care about genes, but honestly, people are making too big of a deal about genetics matter, and we run everyone through genetics for our anti-aging based protocols. But first, we help them lose weight. If the person doesn't need to lose weight, we help them get well. If the person is done getting well, their body's balanced, then we move on to the anti-aging, and that's when we matter so much about genes and genetics. Now, genes do matter, especially in autism, but what we already know is most likely there's broken down pathways ahead of time. So we run an organic acid test and stool test with every single child that has autism in our practice. I ideally like to run the entire Dr. Cabral Big Five, but if you wanted to skip one, you would run the thyroid adrenal hormone panel. You would skip that one. But you would absolutely run the organic acids test, stool test, food sensitivity test. You're pretty clean in the first place, so you may not need that one. But you'd run the omega-3 test. Absolutely, 100% you'd run that with the organic acid test and the stool test. And you'd also absolutely run the hair tissue mineral analysis. Once you do that, you'll find all the other things that truly matter about throwing off methylation. Because remember, methylation is typically only an issue when there's a breakdown in B vitamins, and there's a breakdown in absorption, when there's candida overgrowth, when there's bacterial overgrowth, and when the inflammation is set off by an imbalanced microbiome. So really just so important that we look at those things first. But again, viruses, heavy metals, infections, gut-based issues, they all matter, but you have to clean up the gut first. Now, you can do everything at once, which is what we do, but you have to look at the gut. All right, Tara is up next. Hi, Dr. Ball. My friend was diagnosed with interstitial cystitis several years ago. She was told to eliminate acidic foods, which helped. And she regularly was seeing a naturopath that put her on a strict diet. She's also having up to 20 different naturopathic pills a day. And although she's seen improvement over the past few years, her symptoms seem to be recently returning. I was hoping you could recommend certain labs or shed some light on the root cause to this. It's not something that runs in her family. Thank you. Great question, Tara. And the truth is, even if it ran in someone's family, it honestly doesn't matter. It's still the root causes that we need to look at. And I mean no disrespect when I say that. It just means we need to literally look at these root causes that matter for the whole family, right? So interstitial cystitis, just for anybody who doesn't know what interstitial cystitis is, it's essentially inflammation and pressure on the bladder, sometimes with some pelvic pain. So chronic painful bladder-based issues. Now, it's funny because last Wednesday, I did a podcast on some people with interstitial cystitis actually get a huge benefit from doing our healthy urinary tract protocol and also eliminating high oxalate foods. Sorry, it was on Tuesday. It was episode 984. So have your friend check out 984. But honestly, the truth is this. She needs to run the organic acids test and the stool test. I've been going back to those. Now, everything comes in waves, right? Sometimes you just see a bunch of questions that have that. But a lot of times there's E. coli overgrowth, Klebsiella overgrowth, and C. diff that cause a lot of issues, as well as yeast, of course, that cause a lot of issues with women that get urinary tract infections, bladder infections, kidney infections, which can just travel up back from the bladder, but also interstitial cystitis, which again, think of it as whenever you hear the itis, you're just thinking of inflammation. Okay, so what I'd like you to do is have your friend just run the organic acids test and stool test, and then we'll do the healthy urinary tract protocol. Again, you can look that up. And then just at stephencabral.com/podcasts. And we'll get those lab results back. We'll clean up the gut if anything needs to be done. We'll eliminate high oxalate foods in the temporary, the short term. Okay? hopefully it helps. Great question, Tara. Next up is Ida. Ida is asking, I will buy your book and starting 21 days seasonal detox. Is it possible to follow your detox plan with local food products and supplements? Do you give any alternative recommendations in the plan? I live in Finland and we have a great functional medicine supplement and nutrient powders, but I just wonder if the plan is strictly based on your products. You are one of my biggest inspirations and teachers in my way to functional medicine nutritionists. Love, Ida. Thank you, Ida. Really appreciate that. Yes, in the Rain Barrel Effect, I actually give you all of the products that you need for a functional medicine detox. So I absolutely tell people you do not need to do the Dr. Cabral detox. It's just the least expensive way. It saves you a couple $100 minimum by doing it in just the 3 products that I formulated. And I told you how I cut out the middleman. I went directly to custom manufacture these items. There's over 30 items in it. And that's it. So basically, we just cut out the middleman and we found all the purest ingredients that I would want to use myself and with my family and in my practice. And of course, with our online family, our online community. So that's what we do. But again, anyone that can't get it where they are, then you're able to absolutely use, or even if you just want to use your own, totally fine. Just follow the plan. It's actually outlined right at drcabraldetox.com because again, my goal is to give away all the information. I never sell information. It's just that's not what I do. Supplements cost me money. Labs cost me money. So of course we have to sell those. It'd be great one day if health insurance ever covered those. That would be amazing. And if I don't have to play the health insurance game, then of course, then that would be amazing. That would be great. So that's what we do. And the good news is this. I didn't want to announce it yet, but since you're a podcast listener, beginning November 5th, we are going to be shipping to 15 more countries all around the world. And Ida, I think you'll be happy at who you see is on the list. Okay. Next question is coming in from Imogene. Imogene. Okay. So the question is this. Hi, Dr. Cabral. I'm so thankful I've discovered you. Thank you for all that you have done for me so far. I love soaking up your knowledge, and I'm considering the future as a wellness coach. I'm 27, 62 kilos, 165 centimeters. I'm a trainee as a Pilates instructor, English, living in Perth, Australia, diagnosed with endometriosis. Long question, history of antibiotics, research on naturopath, trying to figure out fertility, looking to reduce chronic pain, get pregnant, and feel energized. I know you're big on testing and data so we can make informed decisions, but I'm not sure what tests are necessary for me. My naturopath put me on gluten-free diet, curcumin tablets for inflammation, and I take folic acid. All right. So, here's the thing, and I don't want to put anyone down because that's not how I live life. So I don't really know. I don't really know what your naturopath's doing, so I don't want to say anything to the contrary. But, putting someone on a gluten-free diet for their hormones, is fine, right? Fine. Curcumin is fine, but, it's a great COX inhibitor of inflammation. But I always ask why the inflammation. In folic acid, I'm assuming, I hope that your naturopath's not putting you on folic acid, that what you mean is natrofolate or 5-methyl tetrahydrofolate. So I don't really know what's going on. And the truth is I would need to look at some labs to help you specifically. And that's because, we're trying to fix your body. And the nice thing is this, I did a whole 30-minute answer to your question. And that was done on episode 978. So Imogene, if you could go to stevencabral.com/978, I literally answer your question in depth right there. And then the other podcast you'd want to listen to is go to stevencabral.com/podcast and just type in this, how to have a healthy pregnancy. And that will pop up with what to do pre-pregnancy, peri, during, and then post-pregnancy as well. I've got a new show interview coming up with Melissa Ambrosini, one of my favorite people, her and Nick. And I go deep on all things, like literally pregnancy. So I'll share that show with you as well when it becomes available. Cheryl is up next. Cheryl was asking, I was thinking about ordering the daily protocol and had a question. My daughter has had problems in the past with multivitamins. Her knees, elbows, and thighs burn red and takes a few hours to go away after taking Benadryl. Would it be safe for her to take the items of the protocol? She's 20 and only weighs 100 pounds. Great question, Cheryl. This could actually be a niacin flush, which some people are more susceptible to. we use the non-flush version of vitamin B3 in our daily nutritional support shake. So, and the nice thing about our multi, or our multi is just called the activated multivitamin, and the daily nutritional support is the shake powder, which is the most popular, is the full serving for the shake powder is 2 scoops. For sensitive people, we start them with a half a scoop. That's it. For kids, we do a half a scoop. Now, your daughter's not a kid. She's an adult. So at 20 years old, she'll work up to the 2 scoops. But you can try it at a half a scoop in a smoothie. Super easy to do. And the other thing is this. With the multi, the full serving is 4 capsules per day. We typically say 2 at breakfast and 2 at dinner if you want to use the multivitamin instead of the smoothie in the morning, instead of the shake. Or if you have your favorite shake, that's totally fine as well. Again, my goal is to help you get healthy, not necessarily to use the Equilibrium nutrition products. I can just tell you they are third-party certified, they're third-party tested, which means I pay money to have these tested at an outside lab to make sure they're contaminant-free, heavy metal-free, and that they're the cleanest products you can get. And also at the dosage, the right dosage, right? You want to pay for the right dosage. You want to make sure that you are getting what you're supposed to. A lot of people don't even know this, but our probiotic has almost double the amount of good bacteria in there, but we just label it as 25 billion per capsule, even though we're putting 45 billion in there. So a lot of people don't know that. We're just trying to go above and beyond because we know, and we just want you to know that you're getting the best products possible with Equilibrium Nutrition. And I say that because these really are the products that I use. So we have an island in my kitchen, and below the island are 2 cabinets, a left side and a right side. Probably a lot of people have this, right? And the doors just swing open. The entire right side, all 3 shelves are just dedicated to all of my family supplements. And then in the closet, we have another bin of just the wellness ones. So when people get sick, whether it's myself, my wife, or my 2 girls, or even my dog, we have everything right there ready to go in that basket, and we just pull it out, and the girls get what they need. My wife and I luckily don't get sick too often, but it's all there. So I don't even know why I went down that little tangent of a road, but that was about a multivitamin, and yes, she's able to take it. If this is an issue due to flushing, that would help. The reason it gave it away is why I think it might be a mast cell histamine-based issue from the niacin, is because if you take niacin, Benadryl, which is an antihistamine, will actually help with a niacin flush. So not harmful, but obviously it's a little painful and doesn't feel great. So Cheryl, hopefully that answers your question. Okay, let's go with another one. Michael comes in next. Hi, Stephen. I've been diagnosed with achalasia type 1. I'm now waiting to get surgery. I heard you're at Ben Greenfield. I want to contact you about what might recommend. Do you do Skype consultations? Michael, this came in on 7/24. Please, if it's a question you need to answer it immediately before surgery, again, I can't diagnose, treat, anything like that, right? I don't practice medicine. Only medical doctors practice medicine. I practice natural health. I'm a doctor of natural health. That's what I do. So here's the thing. Achalasia, just go to stephencabral.com/podcast, type in achalasia. This is a difficulty swallowing, food, has to do with the throat. We work on this all the time. You don't need surgery for this. Really, surgery is like last resort, life-saving. Achalasia, every single time, literally every single time is a stress-based disorder. You might not feel stressed, but your body is. I just hope that we're able to help you before you do the surgery. If you're listening to this, I don't want you to get down on yourself. No big deal. The stress is going to manifest itself in other ways, so no big deal. Again, what's done is done. I swallowed, 3,000 plus capsules of amoxicillin, right? Talk about destroying your gut. I've had surgery on my adenoids. I've had surgery on my tonsils. They pulled everything out of my body they could pull, right? That's just the way it worked. But I'm healthy today. So run the thyroid adrenal hormone and the hair tissue mineral analysis, Michael. All right, that's my time for today. Great questions that have come in. What I'd like to say is for all of today's show notes, go to stephencabral.com/989. And of course, all the labs, all supplements can be found at equilibriumnutrition.com or with your local practitioner. Thank you, everyone. Real pleasure. Appreciate it. Tune in tomorrow for our Mindset and Motivation Monday, one of my favorite shows of the week. Take care. Before you go, I wanted to share a personal story with you. The real reason I began to get well finally is because I figured out what was wrong with me. And that might seem pretty obvious, but I went from doctor to doctor for over 2 years before discovering at-home functional medicine lab testing. These are the labs that enabled me to finally figure out what was wrong with my hormones, blood sugar, electrolytes, and gut health. And once I knew what was wrong, I could then follow a proven plan in order to rebalance my body from the inside out. This is why I believe so strongly in functional medicine lab testing and why I've made it my mission to share these labs with the world. Now at equa.life, you can order an at-home lab test or lab bundle for you and your family and be able to complete it within the week. Plus, the EquaLife difference is that you're not left to try to read and figure out these labs on your own. We explain what your lab numbers mean, what they mean in the much bigger picture, and then how to go about rebalancing your body in order to heal. To see our full selection of lab tests, or to set up a free lab selection call to find out what labs may be best for you, simply head on over to equa.life/labs. And do remember, we ship these all over the world. To find out more and to set up your free lab selection call, simply head on over to equa.life/labs. That's EQUI.LIFE/labs.